Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Abraham Lincoln wheat penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving into a piece of American history that may just surprise you, the United States 1-cent coin from 1953. If you thought pennies were just pocket change, think again. This tiny piece of currency could be worth far more than you'd expect. Stick around until the end to find out just how much this coin could be worth today. The 1953 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln Wheat Penny, is part of one of the longest-running coin series in American history. First minted in 1909, the wheat penny has seen many changes over the years. By 1953, the coin had been in circulation for nearly half a century, and it had become a symbol of the American spirit during some of the most turbulent times in history, from the Great Depression to World War II. But what makes the 1953 edition particularly special, and why are collectors so eager to get their hands on one? The first thing that stands out about this coin is its design. On the obverse, you'll see the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln, created by artist Victor David Brenner. This portrait of Lincoln has remained one of the most recognized images in American coinage. On the reverse, you'll find the famous wheat stalks, representing America's agricultural roots. The intricate design and the historical significance of the wheat penny make it not just a coin, but a piece of American heritage. But what really sets the 1953 1-cent coin apart from its counterparts is its rarity and condition. While millions of these coins were produced, only a few have managed to survive the years in pristine, uncirculated condition. Over time, most coins suffer from wear and tear due to being in circulation for so long. However, some lucky collectors have managed to find 1953 wheat pennies in near-perfect condition, and it's these coins that have become highly coveted on the market. One key factor that increases the value of the 1953 1-cent coin is the minting errors that sometimes occurred during production. Coins with slight misprints, such as double die errors or off-center strikes, are particularly valuable. These coins are rare and highly sought after by collectors, as they represent a unique piece of history that doesn't conform to the standard minting process. If you happen to find one of these error coins, you could be holding a true treasure. Now, let's talk about the moment you've all been waiting for, the value. While a typical 1953 1-cent coin in circulated condition may only be worth a few cents, an uncirculated version, or one with a rare minting error, can fetch a much higher price. Believe it or not, a perfectly preserved 1953 1-cent coin can be worth up to $64,000. That's right, a single penny could be worth $64,000 in the right condition. It's incredible to think that a coin as small and humble as the 1953 1-cent could hold such value. So, if you happen to come across one of these old pennies in your change or collection, take a moment to inspect it carefully. It could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Top 2, we're going to talk about a coin that might just be sitting in your collection, or even your pocket, waiting to make you a small fortune. That's right, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1944 United States 1-cent coin, also known as the famous Lincoln Wheat Penny. And trust us, this particular penny is not just your average pocket change. Stick around, because you won't believe just how much this coin could be worth today. The 1944 1-cent coin is part of the iconic Lincoln Wheat Penny series that was first introduced back in 1909. By the time 1944 rolled around, the United States was in the midst of World War II, and the economy was shifting rapidly. The government had to make some significant changes to its coinage, especially with the wartime shortages of metals. So, in 1944, the U.S. Mint switched from the usual bronze composition to a steel composition for some coins, specifically, the pennies. These steel pennies, called wartime pennies, are extremely rare and highly coveted by collectors today. But not all 1944 pennies were made from steel, most were still the traditional copper. Now, you might be wondering, what makes the 1944 1-cent coin so valuable? Well, it's all about the composition, rarity, and condition. While the majority of the 1944 pennies were minted in the standard copper composition, a small number were struck on steel planchets left over from wartime production. These steel pennies, often mistaken for regular copper pennies, are the real treasures, and they're worth a lot more than you'd think. If you happen to come across one of these steel 1944 pennies, you could be looking at a highly valuable coin. The design of the 1944 wheat penny is also one of the most iconic in American coinage. On the obverse, you'll find the timeless portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by artist Victor David Brenner. This image of Lincoln has been a symbol of American resilience and unity for over a century. On the reverse, you'll see the two stalks of wheat that give the coin its famous name, wheat penny. The design, which symbolizes the strength of American agriculture, has made the 1944 penny a beloved piece of U.S. history. But here's where things get interesting: the 1944 steel penny is incredibly rare. Only a small number of them were minted, and many were either lost, destroyed, or accidentally mixed in with the regular copper pennies. In fact, only a few of these steel pennies have survived in good condition, making them a prime target for coin collectors looking for rare and valuable specimens. You might be thinking, how can I tell if my 1944 penny is one of those steel treasures? It's simple. A regular 1944 penny should have a reddish-brown color due to its copper composition, while the steel penny has a more silvery gray appearance. So, if you've got a 1944 penny that looks a little more metallic and shiny than the usual copper ones, you might just have something very special on your hands. Now, let's talk about the big reveal: the value of this coin. If you happen to have one of these rare 1944 steel pennies in your collection, or if you find one in your change, you could be sitting on a small fortune. A well-preserved steel penny from 1944 has been known to sell for as much as $74,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $74,000 for a single penny. Imagine finding one of these rare coins tucked away in a box of old change or passed down from generations. That's a treasure worth discovering. So, what's the takeaway here? While most pennies are worth just 1 cent, the 1944 steel penny is a coin that could put your collection or your change jar into the spotlight. It's amazing how a small, seemingly insignificant coin can hold so much value. So, take a closer look at your pennies. You never know, you might just have a $74,000 gem hiding in plain sight. Top 3, we're talking about a coin that might just be hiding in your collection or even in your pocket right now, and it could be worth more than you'd expect. That's right, we're taking a deep dive into the United States 1-cent coin from 1949, a coin that could be worth a small fortune today. Stick with us until the end to find out just how much this particular penny could be worth. The 1949 1-cent coin, better known as the Lincoln Wheat Penny, is part of a long history of coins that date back to 1909. This coin series, beloved by collectors and history enthusiasts alike, has witnessed many changes over the decades. By 1949, the United States was coming off the heels of World War II, and the economy was beginning to recover from the wartime pressures. The 1949 penny represents a turning point in U.S. coinage, as it's part of the last years of the Wheat Penny series before the design was changed to the Lincoln Memorial Penny in 1959. What makes the 1949 penny so special? Well, despite being one of the millions minted that year, there are certain characteristics about this coin that make it stand out from the rest. For starters, it's the condition that really drives its value. Most 1949 pennies you'll come across have been heavily circulated, and as a result, their condition isn't ideal for collectors. But the value of this coin really skyrockets if you find one in uncirculated condition or with minimal wear. Pennies that have been kept in pristine condition are far rarer than you might think, and they're worth significantly more than their face value. But there's more to this coin than just its condition. Like many older coins, the 1949 penny has a rich design full of symbolism. On the obverse side, you'll find the familiar and timeless image of President Abraham Lincoln, crafted by artist Victor David Brenner. This image of Lincoln has remained an enduring symbol of American unity and strength for over a century. On the reverse, you'll find 2 stalks of wheat, which give the coin its famous wheat penny name. These wheat stalks are a nod to the agricultural strength of the United States, a tribute to the nation's roots in farming and industry. Now, here's the kicker: while most 1949 pennies are fairly common and worth only a few cents, there are some very specific details that can make a 1949 penny worth a whole lot more. A coin with an unusual minting error or one that's in near-perfect, uncirculated condition can bring a significant price. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins that show little to no wear, especially when they come from such a historic and sought-after series. One of the key factors that increases the value of the 1949 penny is the presence of unique minting errors. While rare, some 1949 pennies were struck with double die errors, where the design was stamped twice during the minting process. This type of error is highly prized by collectors because it creates a coin that's truly one of a kind. If you find a 1949 penny with this kind of error, you could be holding a coin that's worth far more than its original face value. So, how much can you actually expect to get for a 1949 penny in excellent condition or with a minting error? Well, the value of this coin can vary depending on its condition and any special characteristics. However, in top condition or with a rare minting error, a 1949 1-cent coin could be worth as much as $70,000. Yes, you heard that right, $70,000 for a single penny. Imagine coming across this little treasure in your coin jar or a roll of old pennies. You'd be looking at a small fortune right there in your hand. It's truly remarkable how a simple coin, with a bit of age and some luck, can turn into such a valuable collectible. So, if you've got a stash of old pennies lying around, it might be worth taking a closer look at your 1949s. With a little bit of research and some careful inspection, you could be holding onto a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. Top 4, we're going to talk about a coin that might just be hiding in your collection or tucked away in a drawer, waiting to make you a small fortune. We're talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1945. You might think a penny is just a penny, but trust us, this one is different, and it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this coin is a collector's dream. The 1945 1-cent coin is part of the iconic Lincoln Wheat Penny series, which has been a staple of American coinage since its introduction in 1909. By 1945, the United States had just come out of the chaos of World War II, and the economy was starting to recover. During this time, the Lincoln Wheat Penny was still a symbol of strength, resilience, and unity, reflecting the nation's fortitude through a difficult period in history. What makes the 1945 penny stand out from the other years in the series? For starters, it's the composition of the coin. During World War II, the U.S. Mint experienced significant shortages of copper, which led to changes in coin production. In 1943, for example, pennies were made from steel to conserve copper. However, by 1945, the Mint returned to producing the Lincoln Wheat Penny in its usual copper alloy, which makes the 1945 version a little more special. While the design of the coin remained the same, it represents the transition from wartime scarcity back to the more stable post-war economy. The design of the 1945 penny is the same iconic look that coin collectors know and love. On the obverse, you'll find the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by artist Victor David Brenner. This portrait has stood the test of time as one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. On the reverse, you'll see the famous wheat stalks, which give the coin its wheat penny nickname. These wheat stalks symbolize America's agricultural roots and have become a hallmark of the Lincoln Penny series. But here's where things get exciting. While many 1945 pennies were minted and are still common today, there are a few factors that can make this coin incredibly valuable. The main factor driving its value is condition. Most 1945 pennies you'll encounter will have been in circulation for decades, and as a result, they're often worn down with scratches, discoloration, and other signs of use. However, in uncirculated or mint state condition, the value of a 1945 penny increases significantly. What really drives collectors crazy about the 1945 penny are the rare minting errors that have been discovered. Some 1945 pennies were struck with double dies, which means the design was stamped twice, resulting in a coin with a double image. This type of error is incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors, as it creates a unique piece of history that can't be replicated. Coins with these types of minting errors can be worth much more than regular pennies, making them highly valuable finds for those lucky enough to come across them. Now, you're probably wondering just how much a 1945 penny could be worth. Well, a standard 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny in average condition might only fetch a few cents, but a pristine, uncirculated coin, or one with a rare minting error, can fetch a significant amount. In fact, if you happen to find a 1945 penny in excellent condition, or better yet, one with a minting error, it could be worth as much as $74,000. Yes, you heard that right, $74,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that a coin as small as the 1945 penny could hold such immense value. So, if you have a collection of old pennies, or if you happen to come across a 1945 penny in your pocket change, make sure to give it a closer look. You never know, you could be holding on to a rare treasure that could make you a small fortune. Top 5, we're going to talk about a very special piece of American history, the 1954 United States 1-cent coin, or more commonly known as the Lincoln Wheat Penny. This might just be one of those coins you've overlooked in your collection, but trust me, it could be worth a lot more than you think. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why the 1954 penny is a coin you don't want to miss. The 1954 penny is part of the iconic Lincoln Wheat Penny series, which has been a staple of U.S. coinage since its debut in 1909. By 1954, the U.S. Mint had been producing these pennies for over 4 decades. These pennies were minted during a period of post-World War II economic growth, and by the early 1950s, the U.S. economy was recovering rapidly, with the country shifting towards a more prosperous future. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, with its timeless design and historical significance, captured the essence of this era and continued to be one of the most popular and widely circulated coins in the United States. One of the most notable things about the 1954 penny is its composition. Just like its predecessors, the 1954 Lincoln Wheat Penny was made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. These pennies were quite durable, but over time, many of them were worn down by years of circulation. This means that while millions of 1954 pennies were minted, finding one in great condition today is relatively rare. That's one of the factors that makes this coin so valuable for collectors. The design of the 1954 penny is also one of the main reasons why it's so beloved by coin enthusiasts. On the obverse, you'll find the famous image of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by artist Victor David Brenner. This design has remained virtually unchanged since its debut in 1909, and it continues to be one of the most iconic portraits in U.S. coinage. On the reverse, you'll see the 2 stalks of wheat, which are symbolic of America's agricultural roots and give this coin its name, the wheat penny. But let's get to the real reason you're here. How much is the 1954 penny actually worth? While most 1954 pennies are relatively common and can be found in circulation today for just a few cents, the value of a 1954 penny can skyrocket depending on its condition. Coins that have been in circulation for years often show signs of wear and tear, which lowers their value. However, finding a 1954 penny that is in uncirculated or mint condition is a completely different story. These well-preserved coins are far rarer and highly sought after by collectors. To make matters even more interesting, certain minting errors can drastically increase the value of a 1954 penny. For example, a double die error, where the design is struck more than once, can make a coin incredibly valuable. These minting errors are rare and hard to find, but when they do appear, they make a coin stand out from the rest, driving up demand and value among collectors. So, how much could a 1954 penny be worth in top condition, or with a rare minting error? The answer might surprise you. A single 1954 Lincoln Wheat penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, or one with a minting error, could be worth as much as $65,000. That's right, $65,000 for a single penny. Imagine finding this little treasure in your collection or, even better, in your pocket change. It's an unbelievable amount for something that was once just a regular coin circulating in everyday transactions. The incredible thing about the 1954 penny is that, while it may seem like a small and ordinary piece of currency, it holds the potential to be a real collector's gem. If you happen to have a few 1954 pennies lying around, it might be worth your time to inspect them closely. If you find one in perfect condition, or one with a minting error, you could be holding a coin that's worth far more than you ever expected. So, next time you're sorting through your old change or going through a box of coins, take a closer look at your 1954 pennies. You just might have a small fortune sitting right in front of you. Top 6, we've got a real treat for you. We're going to talk about a coin that might be hiding in your collection right now, and it could be worth far more than you ever thought. We're talking about the 1950 United States 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln Wheat Penny. Stick with us until the end, because you won't believe how much this little penny could be worth today. The 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny is a classic piece of American history, and it's a coin that's been in circulation for over 7 decades. By the time 1950 came around, the United States had just emerged from the turmoil of World War II, and the country was experiencing a period of rapid economic growth. The Lincoln Wheat Penny was one of the most familiar coins in circulation at the time, and it captured the spirit of post-war America. It's been a favorite of collectors ever since, but did you know that some 1950 pennies are incredibly valuable? What makes the 1950 penny so special? Like all the pennies from the Lincoln Wheat series, this coin was minted in copper, and its design remained virtually unchanged from the original version introduced in 1909. The obverse side features the famous portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by artist Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's image has become synonymous with strength and resilience in the face of adversity, and it's one of the most recognizable portraits in all of coinage. On the reverse, you'll see the iconic wheat stalks that give the coin its wheat penny name, a tribute to America's agricultural roots. But here's where things get really interesting. While the 1950 penny is a common coin, it's actually a bit rarer than you might think. One of the key factors that makes the 1950 penny stand out is its minting year and the small number of coins that were made in certain conditions. Most 1950 pennies you'll come across are in average condition, with signs of wear and tear from years of circulation. But here's the thing. Coins that have been well preserved or are in uncirculated condition can be worth a lot more than you'd expect, and that's where the value really starts to climb. The condition of a coin is one of the most important factors in determining its worth. Most coins from the 1950s have been in circulation for decades, so finding one in near-perfect condition is rare. But when you do find one, it could be worth significantly more than its face value. If you happen to come across a 1950 penny that's in mint or uncirculated condition, it's likely to be worth a pretty penny. Now, let's take it up a notch. What about the rare minting errors? Just like any other coin, the 1950 penny was not immune to mistakes during the minting process. Some 1950 pennies were struck with errors, such as double dies or misaligned strikes. These minting errors are highly prized by collectors because they create unique and rare pieces that are not easy to come by. If you find a 1950 penny with one of these minting errors, you could be holding onto a true treasure that's worth far more than you might imagine. So, just how much can a 1950 penny be worth? In excellent condition, a 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny might be worth a few dollars. But if you're lucky enough to find one that's in uncirculated condition, or if you happen to come across one with a rare minting error, the value skyrockets. You could be looking at a penny worth as much as $60,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $60,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that a coin as small and humble as the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny could hold such immense value. So, the next time you're sorting through your coin collection, or you come across a jar of old pennies, take a closer look at the 1950s. With its historical significance, classic design, and potential for rarity, this penny could be worth much more than its face value. Top 7, and this last video is going to blow your mind. We're about to explore one of the most intriguing pennies in U.S. coinage, the 1957 1-cent coin, or the famous Lincoln Wheat Penny. You may think of it as just another penny, but believe me, it could be worth a small fortune if you have the right one. Stick with us until the end because you won't believe how much this little coin could be worth. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny is part of a series that's been around since 1909 and has captured the hearts of collectors for over a century. By 1957, the coin had already gone through decades of being in daily circulation. The country was moving forward after World War II, and the U.S. economy was enjoying an era of growth and prosperity. The Lincoln Wheat Penny was a symbol of this era, representing hard work, resilience, and the agricultural strength of the country. So, why exactly is the 1957 penny so valuable? On the surface, it may seem like just another coin from the mid-20th century. However, it's what makes this coin stand out that matters. Like most other pennies from this series, the 1957 coin features the image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, a design created by the artist Victor David Brenner. This portrait of Lincoln has remained unchanged for over a century, solidifying its place as one of the most iconic images in American coinage. The reverse side of the coin showcases two stalks of wheat, which give the coin its wheat penny name. These wheat stalks symbolize America's agricultural foundation, and it's a beautiful design that's captured on millions of pennies. But here's the thing, while most of these pennies were produced in large quantities and are quite common, the value lies in the coin's condition, rarity, and any possible minting errors. Now, here's where things get interesting. As you may know, coins that have been in circulation for years often show signs of wear and tear. The 1957 penny is no exception. Many of the pennies from that year are worn, damaged, or just not in great condition. But when you come across one that's been well preserved or kept in uncirculated condition, it becomes a different story. A 1957 penny in excellent condition is much rarer than you might think, and that's what makes it a sought-after treasure for collectors. However, there's more to this coin's value than just its condition. The 1957 penny is also known for having a few unique minting errors. During the minting process, it's not uncommon for mistakes to happen, and some 1957 pennies were struck with double dies or other rare errors. These minting mistakes can make a coin even more valuable, as collectors go wild over error coins. A double die error, for example, occurs when the coin is struck twice, creating a slightly shifted or double image on the design. If you find a 1957 penny with this kind of error, you could be holding onto a coin that's worth far more than you ever imagined. So, what can you expect in terms of value for the 1957 penny? Well, most of these coins are still fairly common and can be found for just a few cents if they're in average condition. However, if you happen to find a 1957 penny in uncirculated condition, or if you're lucky enough to find one with a rare minting error, the price tag can be shocking. In fact, a 1957 penny in pristine condition or with a minting error could be worth as much as $57,000. Yes, that's right, $57,000 for a single penny. It's truly remarkable to think that a small coin, just a penny, could hold such enormous value. So, the next time you're going through a pile of old pennies or sorting through your collection, take a closer look at those 1957 coins. You could be sitting on a hidden treasure that might just be worth a small fortune. Thank you for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you never miss another exciting discovery. Who knows what other treasures might be lurking in your collection? Thanks for watching, and happy collecting.